Miss Elaina Bantham held tight to the bedpost as the housekeeper, currently acting as her lady's maid, tugged on her corset. It wasn't as if Elaina wasn't already too tall for society's standards, but she also had curves that needed to be squeezed into submission. Statuesque, her Aunt Rose would say. Her Uncle Henry would agree by claiming her lovely. Lainey loved them both for taking her in after her parents died. It had been comforting for an 11-year-old to have her aunt, who so reminded her of her mother. It was as if she still lived. Aunt Rose and Lainey's mother had been only a year apart, and many people thought them to be twins because they were so much alike. The three of them had been close, and when Lainey's mother passed, Lainey and Aunt Rose had both shared an excruciating loss, which strengthened their bond as well. Her Uncle Henry, Viscount Darlington, had always treated her as his own, despite there being no connection by blood. He'd also included her in their extensive adventures. While most young women only read of such places as China or Egypt, Lainey had been there. She'd seen amazing things and met interesting people, which made tonight's ball seem that much more insufferable. The Ton claimed very few interesting people. If she had her choice, she would much rather be wearing breeches while digging in the dirt than face a room full of gossiping ninnies and boorish dandies. But her aunt and uncle had once again asked her to attend their annual ball, and she didn't want to disappoint them. It wouldn't be the jungles of the Amazon that made her sweat, or being chased by a baboon that made her heart race tonight. It would be a ballroom stuffed with people who would cause her plenty of discomfort this evening. Lainey remembered all too well the failure that had been her come-out, and the person who had ruined all her dreams of a happy ever after, and she was sure he would be in attendance tonight. "Look at you!" Aunt Rose startled Lainey as she glided into the room. "So statuesque. I wish I had your height. It would rather even out some of this middle. You are beautiful, Auntie. As are you. We women spend too much time wishing for attributes we don't have, all while the ones who do have them often find them a bother. It is the curse of being a woman, I suppose." She fussed with Lainey's red blonde curls that had been fashioned by her ears and cocked her head. "Apparently these are all the rage this season. Of course, what would I care about being fashionable for a bunch of stuffy aristocrats? You may not care, but they suit you." She tilted her head the other direction, and Lainey knew what she would say next before she opened her mouth to speak. "This might be the year the right man finally notices what a catch you are and sweeps you off your feet." Lainey refrained from sighing. At 23, Lainey was considered a spinster, and perfectly fine with her status. Men didn't like women who were taller than them, which meant Lainey's 5 feet 10 inches frightened off the majority of the men in attendance. Her unfashionable hair and freckles didn't help matters either. But rather than argue with her aunt, she offered a smile and nodded. "We shall see.